This one says, shut the fuck up. Nope. You know why? Because I can fucking run. Your ass should have learned how to run. Cause I saw you get your ass kicked. Now you shut the fuck up. Oh, that's the dumbest shit that's a no. She knew every damn thing, but didn't know shit. I remember her ass too. Mm-hmm. Her ass took the 10th grade twice too. Welcome, welcome to another edition of Yeah, I Remember Your Ass. I'm your host, Dallas Brown Jr. I am a retired educator. 17 years I spent in the fucking classroom with these kids, listening to their stories, hearing their heartbreaks, and just plain outright watching some of the dumbest shit they ever done in their life. Today's episode is the student that knew every fucking thing. Y'all know them. Some of you, you're they damn parent, and you knew everything, didn't you? So here's one of my favorite things about these kids, I've had two jobs in my life that I really enjoy. One was serving in the military, the other was being a teacher. And one of the things I did to start off was I wanted to know what the kids were thinking about me, what they thought about the class. Was I a good teacher? Was I a fucked up teacher? Did I teach them enough? Did I teach them too little? Well, I actually gave them the opportunity to share that with me. They wrote me letters over a 17-year period. These are for my flow. These right here. It's for the show. I can't see it without these. So here's some of the funny stuff. So I pulled some of the letters to think about how many of those damn kids knew everything all the time. And they hid behind a lot of things. So when they knew everything, at the end of my class, they may write me a note that says something like this: I am so bored. So one of the things I used to say to them is, people who get bored are boring ass people. Who's with you 24/7? You. So if you get bored, you're bored of yourself. You're the boring, not my class. Here's another illustration of how these kids sometimes feel about you as their teacher. This one says, shut the fuck up. And yeah, I remember this student that wrote this right here. She said, and she don't even have fucking good handwriting. She said, Mr. Brown, all you ever do is run your damn mouth. You probably used to get your ass kicked all the time when you was a student, didn't you? You know what I said? Nope. You know why? Because I could fucking run. Your ass should have learned how to run, because I saw you get your ass kicked. Now you shut the fuck up. Okay. That's one. So here's another student. I remember this student here. He was another one of those. He knew every damn thing except how to write. Damn handwriting was bad too. So he said, Mr. Brown, I didn't like this course. I feel as if I wasted 18 months of my life to learn how to do and use Microsoft more proficiently. Mr. Brown, you started off cool. And then you left for Texas. That year I went to the teacher convention. And you came back and it was a total mood change, as if Texas changed Dallas and Dallas didn't change Texas. God the hell, what are you talking about? That's when you started sending me out to the dean for stupid reasons. Yeah. You ain't telling all that shit in here while I was sending your ass out. And you sent me to the principal because you didn't feel as if I should be able to play games. Your class is boring. Now I'm gonna ask him to refer back to the last student about being bored and shit. He says, what else is there to do besides play games? Do work? Shit. That's worse than doing nothing at all. I don't have a problem with you. You just aren't particularly my favorite person. I hope you read this all. Adios, amigos. And yeah, I remember your ass. Motherfucker. Here's another. This one wrote, got good handwriting though. About this class, I like the class most of the time. Sometimes I needed things to be explained and they weren't. I like how the whole class wasn't just about work. Oh, that's the dumbest shit that's a no. She knew every damn thing but didn't know shit. I remember her ass too. Mm-hmm. Her ass took the 10th grade twice too. Mm-hmm. Now, bet your ass ain't talking now. This one says, Mr. Brown, at first, I hated this class. On the first day I came in and saw you, and I knew no one, and I heard we had to give lots of presentations, I went to my counselor right away and begged her, please switch me out of this fool class. Since there wasn't anything open, I had to just dread coming to fourth block. But after a while, I saw how cool the class was and how nice you were, and found out that I could get certified could help me get my dream job. Shit, I stuck it out and soon came to really enjoy this class. So thanks for being an awesome teacher. Hey, maybe since I'm the artist of the month, I can draw you something for your classroom. And I do remember your ass. She was as sweet as she could be. But she did think she know every damn thing too. Oh yeah. This motherfucker, yeah. Had one of them fucking old Confederate general names and shit. Uh, he said, overall, I enjoyed this class. The work wasn't too much and it was simple. Mr. Brown is pretty cool. He talks a whole lot. So we ended up using about 30 minutes of our class time just talking. All you got to do is bring up some shit. Mr. Brown will start talking about it. Yeah, I do remember your ass, Mr. Man. Okay, here's one. Sometimes they just would write you one little simple thing. Says, I think this class was too easy. I remember the young man that wrote this. He had a decent handwriting. Uh, I see him occasionally now. I'm not sure exactly what he does, uh, but he was too damn smart for his own good when he was in school. I know that much. All righty, moving right along. Uh, so, as a parent, I'm gonna ask the parents a couple things. Y'all hit me back with some stuff. So, as a parent, what do you do at home when the motherfuckers know everything before they get up in the morning and come to school? The one I bet your ass asked them this: if you knew so damn much, why you didn't know that damn alarm clock was gonna go off at 6:50 to get your ass up? That's exactly what I thought. And so when you have them in your house and they know everything, what y'all do? I got a suggestion. That's what I tell them. Why don't you go ahead and move out your mom and daddy house right now while you know every damn thing before you start forgetting it? That's what I'm talking about. Now y'all tell them that too, parents. All right, let's move right along. Oh Lord, do I remember this young lady right here? She says, "This class is kind of useless to my learning because the little we learn is not going to help me in my future. Mr. Brown is so funny and he always lying and telling us stories to try and motivate us. So I got to tell your ass a lie to motivate you." Well, that's exactly what the hell I was gonna do. If I had to tell you a lie to motivate you to get you to do something, if it worked, yeah, I remember your ass. Here's another. I think this class was okay at times, but it got really boring. Here another one of them others sit up there bored all the time. I did learn a lot, but a lot of the stuff I already knew. See, this one knew every damn thing. Why you even sign up for my damn class if you knew all that? All righty. Here's another one. This class was pretty easy, and you were a pretty good teacher. That's all fucking pretty good, not real good. I mean, just fucking okay. Well, maybe I'm a quarter good. So if I was a dollar, would I be a nickel, a dime, a quarter, or a penny? Let me know. However, most of the kids in here weren't the brightest. And you should allow people to just play games in this class all the time. Cause them kids ain't too bright, Mr. Brown. Wow. I remember your ass too. And you was one of them kids in there that wasn't all that damn bright. All right. I'm gonna read one last letter and then we're gonna transition a little bit in the show today. I'm gonna bring in one of my guests, my first guest on the show. He also serves as a co-producer of the show. He's one of my former students. Uh, let me read this and we'll move along and transition to that phase of this. This student said, "Oh, I do remember this one. I felt this class was pretty pointless. You are a decent teacher. Just decent. I went from damn pretty good to decent. Shit, if I keep going down this damn rabbit hole, I'm gonna be the worst teacher. But I don't remember learning about part of that exam. Now that sounds like a personal problem. You don't remember, but you knew every damn thing. There was a lot of things you said we were going to do, but we never did. You also go off and have discussions about the stupidest things for half of the class. Oh, and why can't we play games? Thanks, Mr. Brown. Have a great summer." So his ass knew everything, but he want to play damn games. All right. So at this point, we're going to transition the show over. I have questions. I have a couple of questions that was submitted to me, and I'm going to respond to those questions. Okay. As we transition in the show to a part of the show that I kind of thought would be fun to hear some of the responses of people saying, "What about this?" or "What about that?" So I've received a few questions. I'm going to try to answer them throughout the show as we continue to build the podcast. I'll do that for you. Um, so the first question is, what is the most what is the moment in class that made you the most proudest of us? Wow. There's so many moments that I am so proud of kids. Not, I mean, I can say I'm proud of kids athletically, academically, artistry, uh, just so many different areas. But I think the most proudest I've ever been in my class was I had a kid come to my class. When he came to my class, he was not, by any stretch of the imagination, a person of a social. He just kind of he came to high school after being in private school all the way up until the 8th grade. So he wasn't used to being around a whole lot of people from different backgrounds. So one of the things I did, he sat by himself, and as the class moved for the first week, I noticed he kept moving closer and closer to me, and so it was almost as though I I asked him, did he know anybody in the class? He could not give me any stories about students he knew in the class, and I said, okay, here's the deal. Because of you, everybody in this class is going to learn something about someone they had no idea about. So that class took off, and they started. I made them switch their seats on a weekly basis. You're only going to get to see this person for a week. You better remember something about them and move forward because you're going to be with somebody else. And by the end of that year, I saw kids hanging out not only in school but outside of school with one another that I would have bet my life before that class that they would never have anything in common. So moments like that make you as a teacher proud that you were able to bridge a gap, social gap, and those type of things. People from different cultures, different backgrounds, being able to come together, uh, be together, function, and thrive together. So here's the next question: says, did you ever fake sick to get out of teaching us? Shit, I fake sick to, to get away from my own kids. So you know damn well I use some of my sick days to get away from y'all. Yeah, but more importantly, I really was a teacher. I enjoyed the kids. I enjoyed the kids much more than I did my colleagues a lot of the time. Uh, because you get to see the kids grow, you see them make mistakes, and they'll admit their own mistakes. So sometimes your colleagues wouldn't do that. But yeah, I really did wake up, and you had about 6 o'clock to hit that to get that time that system to get that call that sub in. And once somebody grabbed that off of that sub system, I lay right back down in that bed. Let them deal with their damn ass today. Ooh, somebody wrote some shit that brought this thing all the way back home. They say, Mr. Brown, what kind of student were you when you were in school? Lord have mercy. Um, shit, I was a horrible student. I'm ashamed to say it, but I was a horrible student. Terrible. Uh, I probably graduated in the bottom 15 students in my graduating class. Uh, I knew from the time I was probably in the 8th grade or so that I was going in the military. There was never a doubt about it. I knew I wasn't going to no college, but I was going to the military. Uh, Made all the difference in the world. Helped me see things from a different perspective. Gave me some discipline and some structure in my life. Uh, and so that's what kind of I was not the greatest of students, which is why I learned to deal with every kind of student. A student who's up here academic, and the student was down here. So I treated them all the same. Oh Lord have mercy. This one was good. This question said, what is the most ridiculous rumor you've heard about yourself at school? Okay, I'm gonna give you two. Uh, I I had a student uh, that always came to my class all 40 years in high school. By the time she was in the sophomore, so because I always looked out for her, every now and then her mama would maybe bring her lunch and she'd bring me lunch. So before long, the office people began a rumor that Mr. Brown was having an affair with that young lady's mom. Uh, was I? That's none of y'all business. Um, Now, the other the other rumor was there was a there was that ain't y'all business. Why? uh, uh, they got me. The producers is up in here just a grinning. But anyway, so the other one was one year a teacher uh, who happened to be a friend. We kind of did a little team teaching stuff together. Well, she come back to school the next year pregnant. Whose baby you think that was? And everybody's waiting to see if that white lady baby was gonna have any kind of hair like my little boy. And he didn't. And it's not my baby, and none of that had nothing to do with that. I ain't participating in that. So that's my question and answer phase. If you guys have some questions for me, please submit them. You guys, please go subscribe. I am Dallas Brown Jr., my YouTube channel. That I am Dallas Brown Jr. on Facebook, Instagram. You can hear me on Spotify and Apple Music. Uh, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for giving me your time today and entertain. However, I am going to bring on uh, my first guest on the show today. Uh, he's one of my producers. He's done a really, really good job of helping me pull all this together. This is the first time we've worked together. So, without any further ado, I'm going to make a shift real quick and slide a little to the left and bring in my very first guest and one of my former students. And we call him around here in these parts of the woods DJ Motive, my man. Well, pots and pans, boy. You know, come a long ways from over there in Laney.
Shoot, tell me about it.
Wasn't you in the band?
No, of course.
Boy, you wasn't singing, was you?
I was singing, man.
Hold on. You was singing?
Yeah.
Can you do a little something?
Oh, no.
Okay, we ain't gonna make him do a little. Well, baby, let me ask you this. You remember
on?
all our days back at Laney?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what's your fondest memory of me at Laney? And you better not go where I think you're going at.
Well, I knew you was a real teacher when you didn't send me to the office after getting into a scuffle with a guy in the hallway.
Were you winning though?
Of course.
Okay, just checking.
But we was going in. You stuck us in the classroom and said, "Y'all better stop that foolishness. Y'all better go to class. What y'all doing?" Like, because it was, being two young black men in a predominantly white school. You kind of try to save us from getting suspended. You want to, because
you never gonna send your ass home, don't you?
Oh, of course. Them good old 10 days.
Look, you were gonna be over that Mosley for 10 days, because your mom and daddy were gonna make you go to suspension school.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So, do you you remember that time during Laney? What was big during your time at Laney? Was the sports teams any good?
So as far as sports teams, the girl volleyball team actually, because I was doing the camera work for them. The girls volleyball team ended up going to the beginning playoffs. So whenever I was there, that was my 11th grade year. So that was really good.
I think they won the state championship in baseball while you were there too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then you had a couple. We ended up getting a new coach for basketball. I don't know if they did as well, but we did get a new coach.
I'm not going to talk about the basketball coaching during that era because it's personal with me, and you could start a damn fight up in here, David, when you start talking about basketball. Me and Laney, and I know she wants some more elaborate. The producers over there, they like instigators. Your producers are like, and David's laughing over here because producers are like instigators. Okay, damn it, you asked for it, I'm gonna give it to you. You want it, don't you?
Of course I do.
So, David, when you was at Laney, in case you don't remember, was when Lynch retired from basketball.
Yep.
So I was one of the finalists for the basketball coaching job. Uh, it came down to myself and the person who received the job, which I thought was a no-brainer. Uh, as much as I ran my fucking mouth, if I was anybody at Laney with any sense, I would have said, "We're gonna give you the job. I'm gonna force your ass to be a good coach. Because if you don't, we're gonna fire your ass in 1 year. And now you can go through a national search to bring you a better coach in. But you weren't gonna get a chance because I promise you, it would have not have finished the way it did during that time frame.
Yeah.
Nah, kids that I'm gonna leave it alone, damn it, because I'm about to get back mad like I was that day when they told me that I ain't get the job. Sideways, Dave. I almost quit my damn job, but you know what I thought about? Mortgage, light bill.
you had bills and kids.
Bills and damn kids. That's straight, yeah. That's straight, yeah. So let me ask you this. So when you left, I remember you when you graduated. I remember that. What did you do? Did you? I know you. I seen you doing some big time things out here in these streets. You know, you're running all up down the East Coast, DJing, and so what did you do, and how did you get into this, man?
So between doing, believe it or not, so between doing a lot of weddings and then doing clubs, it kind of the trajectory led me into like where it all started at whenever I was back in school. I started off doing music as singing, writing music and everything like that. And whenever I first got my first ever award for songwriting and producing, it kind of some stuff altered. I had a son and everything, so I ended up just wanting to do full on producing. And then I produced for a video game with one of my greatest, actually another Laney high schooler that me and him both we came up from middle school up into Laney, and we still continue to work on music together. And we worked on this one game called Warframe. So we went from that to now doing DJing, and DJing is something I just love and enjoy because I've been able to work with like great people like yourself, like Orlando Jones, 50 Cent,
Mm.
and a lot of other major artists.
So
So
how was 50 Cent to work with?
consistent. You just got to be consistent, and just he's definitely rough around the edges whenever he wants business to be done.
So let me ask you something. Let's go over to Laney right now today. Find little David in the building, right?
So,
What what advice would you give little David right now?
don't listen to no one and just keep following your dream.
That's as good of an advice as I've ever heard anybody say. Like as parents, I'm gonna tell you, I know we already have in our mind from the moment that little baby lay on that towel and stuff.
Mhm.
We got a plan for you. We already done planned your damn life. We know what you going. We know you're gonna be a surgeon. We know you're gonna be a crackhead. I'm just kidding. We know the kind of person you're gonna be. That's all I'm telling you. I can look at you. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. So one of the things, like as a teacher,
Mhm.
you learn to check out kids. Either they got this on their head. They got an X, they got a check mark, or a question mark. Right?
Uh-huh.
I know what you want to know. That's for the next show. We're gonna explain what those mean. David opened the door. We're gonna explain what those mean in our next show. But let's get back. Let's get back and hear a little bit more about that. So, David, besides the guy you created the game with, how many people from your era at Laney do you still stay in touch with?
Who do I stay in touch with?
From your Laney days that you still have a relationship have.
I say a solid like 4 or 5 people.
I used to tell kids all the time in school that those 4 years of high school are the greatest 4 years of your life. I'm not lying. You know why? because the rest of your life, once you get past 40, you know what you talk about all the time?
What's that?
When I was in high school. All the time. What you hear your mom and daddy talk about?
Back in the day?
Madam Producer, what do you hear your mom and daddy talk about back in the day? All the time. We talk about back in the day, though. You hear me talk about back in the day, though. High school. It's the most wonderful time of your life. So I used to tell my kids when they were freshmen and walk in the classroom, David, you probably remember. Well, no, I caught you in the 10th grade. But as a freshman, I always told them, if you will spend the next 8 years of your life working your ass off,
Yeah.
the rest of your life will be easy. But if you piss off these next 8 years of your life, 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, which you ain't gonna graduate, you're gonna work hard the rest of your life.
Oh, most definitely.
So
you're gonna continue to work hard, and then like when you're in high school, you always say, and the producer right here in the back can definitely agree as well, is you want to grow up fast. You want to keep kind of, oh, whenever I get old, I'm gonna move out my parents' house, this, that, and the third. I'm gonna be honest with you.
You want to move back home right now, though?
If
they got a room for you and your little boy, y'all over there.
Of course.
So, David, I want to know, I really appreciate you, DJ Motive.
Appreciate it, man.
Showing up on my podcast, helping me produce this thing. I really, really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
All right. And for you guys, thank you so much for entertaining me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you do, subscribe, like, share all of my on YouTube. I am Dallas Brown Jr. Facebook, I am Dallas Brown Jr. Also Dallas Brown Jr. Instagram, Dallas Brown Jr. You can hear me and the podcast on Apple Music and Spotify. And until I see, and if you just happen to be one of my students roaming around the Port City and you want to know, hell yeah, I remember your ass.